In today's session, in this program, Roadmap to Success, we are pleased to share with you the emerging trends in the insurance sector. To talk about the emerging trends and the opportunities that are available for the youth and how the academic segment can get aligned with the insurance industry, we are privileged to have with us Mr. Tapan Singhel, who is the Managing Director and CEO of Bajaj Allianz General Insurance. Let me first introduce Mr. Singhel to all of you. He is one of the founding members of Bajaj Allianz General Insurance, and as its MD and CEO, he has built this incredible organization with more than 7 crore customers in more than 2,000 locations across the country. In fact, under his aegis, the business has been recognized as one of the best in Asia. The insurance industry in India has had a phenomenal growth over the last few years, and in fact, by the year 2020, it is slated to touch close to $280 billion, growing at a rate of almost 12 to 15% annually over the next 3 to 5 years. That is what the reports indicate. We also learned that this sector is going to create by 2021 as many as 20 lakh jobs. This is really an exciting story for the youth who are aspiring to build their careers and also learn about what are those opportunities and how they need to go and grab these opportunities. So I'd like to start by asking you to throw some light on how you see the growth for the industry and what kind of job opportunities that are going to come up in the insurance sector.
At the onset, ma'am, thank you very much. It's an honor to be here with you. So if you look at the insurance industry, it's very interesting. We hire every professional you can think of, right from surgeons to nurses to veterinary doctors to pharma experts to nuclear plant experts to engineers to MBAs to commerce graduates, chartered accountants. Because if you look at an insurer insures everything, So whatever you think of, an insurer insures. And since we insure, we have to have technical expertise on what we insure. So we have to have that experts. If I look at India, the penetration of insurance is still very low. If I look at, let's say, US, they have close to 2,000 companies. In India, you have just about 30, 40 companies. So as time progresses, this industry is going to explode. So when I talk to a lot of my young friends, I tell them this. If I had to join an organization, I would join an industry which is set to explode, because the opportunities will be huge, irrespective of what you are doing, what you have studied. But I think fundamentally what we have to understand is from the perspective that insurance is, if I look at the sales force, if I look at the variable sales force, a company like LIC has about 20 lakh already employed there. Now we have close to 50,000. So the numbers that Uma mentioned, I think it will be much more than that in terms of what the industry would create in the next 5 to 10 years. I would be surprised if the industry creates less than 60, 70 lakh jobs in the next 7 to 8 years, and it is going to go on that basis. It's a sunrise industry, so for the young friends of mine, it is the best place to be in, because when you have an industry that's exploding, you have so much to learn and so much to do. That is what one should join.
You may be aware about some of the programs that are currently being offered, like from Pune University and other universities these days. As part of the undergraduate program, there is a specialization available in the subject of insurance. So in that context, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what would be your recommendations in terms of what kind of subjects should be covered in this insurance specialization as part of undergraduate study in the university.
If I look at it, in the past about 10 to 12 years, quite a few universities have added this course. But I think the university saw an opportunity, that huge job opportunity would be there. In fact, if you look at students studying insurance and you see the job placement, it is a much higher percentage than students studying something else. I think, obviously with the way the industry is exploding, as I mentioned to you, which is there. So fundamentally, if you're looking at an opportunity in insurance, get the basic products right, the fundamentals right. I think if you look at it, a normal insurance company would have close to 300 plus products, which obviously is too huge for us to understand. But at least the major commercial lines of insurances, automobile, health, a bit about agriculture. We should understand. We should understand the principle of insurance. How does it operate? We should also understand in terms of how do we. If you look at it, the principle, the first principle of insurance is utmost good faith on both the sides. I think customer side when he declares what is his risk, and on insurer side when he accepts the risk. I think, as I mentioned to you earlier, it's about the faith which is there. But a fundamental of the products, about the risk, about what actually insurance means, gets you in good stead, because when you join the insurance company, then you are good to go from day zero. Unlike somebody who comes in new, will at least take 6 months to a year to understand in terms of what the products are, and what exactly is the pitch. Because you can't be either a good salesperson or a good underwriter or a good claim settler or a good actuary if you do not know the products. That is the fundamental of any industry that you have to be joining. So I think that is how one should look forward. In fact, as a company, we have done some certification courses with some universities where we certify the students when they clear the exams, because that certificate itself helps them get some good jobs wherever they apply.
Now, in order to provide all of these inputs to the students who are coming out of the academic system, I'd like your thoughts on how do you think academic system should gear up to make the youth employable by the insurance sector?
Before I talk about the insurance sector, I somehow am a bit disillusioned on the speed at which the academic institutions have to change. When I was growing up, people said knowledge is power. Today I say knowledge is not power. What to do with the information, knowledge is power. But if you look at the entire way the academics gets done, it's still about preparing exam, mugging up questions by rote, writing it down what you have learned. I think that skill set has no relevance. With the search engines like Google, with information access at your fingertips, what to do with the information which is very relevant, how do you serve society, what purpose in life do you have, is something that should be clear, because my learning in life is without a purpose, just if you want to just earn some money, has no relevance. So for me, fundamentally, all this has to change. Technology exposure should be there. What are the problems to be solved should be taught. How to use different information centers and solve problems critically has to be taught. Because as I said earlier, people who solve problems are the ones who will always be employed or be employable. So that has to undergo a major shift. Obviously, the fundamentals of the subject, or what you want to join, let's say you want to join automobile, then you have to understand about what is it there in electric cars and how cars will get manufactured, what is the impact of collision, what is the impact of safety. When you join insurance industry, you understand actually what are the products which are being offered, what difference will a health policy make, and how do you handle ultra speed of different kind of viruses coming over, how do you handle automation in medical technology which increases the cost of treatment but is good for the customer, how do you build in the price, what is the impact, what are the inflection points. So all that you understand. You can't have a traditional set of mind and start looking for a futuristic thing. And the time span for all this, what I'm saying is 1 a year. So at this stage, I'm always super excited. Every year I think that what I did last year has no relevance anymore. What are the new things which come up? How do I build it together? How do I offer different solutions? So that is something which one has to really understand it very, very well. And I hope the education institutions understand this and change at a much faster pace than the way the industry is changing.
Yeah, I think what you mentioned about the ability to learn and unlearn is going to be very, very critical in the coming days. So can you throw some light on what would be the future of work in the insurance sector and what kind of roles should the youth be looking forward to?
Think about it in a pure simplistic manner. What does insurance do? When something goes wrong for somebody, or for industry, or for the society, insurers step in. So we actually get paid to do good. That is the first part. The second part which comes in is if I look at not only for insurance industry, for any industry, anything which is mechanical and repetitive in nature, will get automated. So let us say if you are looking for a job in which you do the same thing every day over and over again, then take it from me, you not have a job 1 or 2 years from now, depending on how fast the industry is going to change. Which technically means that if you are able to serve the customer at the front end, with all solutions, then you don't really require a back end other than for actual pricing, for underwriting, for hyper use of big data, of using solutions with and able to see patterns in data and solve it. So at the back end, you'll have people who understand data, who understand analytics, who understand actuary, and underwriters who understand the business, how it is there. At the front end, you'll have salespeople who are very qualified in terms of the product knowledge and who are able to understand technology, so you can use a tablet or a mobile phone and offer customized solutions to customer at the front end. Now, if you look at both these jobs, no, it is not something where you are looking for a 9 to 6 anymore. No, it is about a continuous movement which will happen, and people, depending on different timings, will be able to depend and deliver what they want, and they can take in different projects. So I think the era of fixed offices, the era of fixed timings, the era of wearing formal suits like this is getting over very, very fast, and it excites me honestly. We are actually moved on. We opened virtual offices. We already opened close to 1,400 such offices. We don't have a brick and mortar office, and we are already having about 30,000 agents and about 1,700 people who actually don't have a fixed office where they go to. They're serving on a regular moment basis and doing so. This era has already begun. It is only going to accelerate going forward. So if you're looking for a fixed job, you're looking for the traditional white collar jobs, you're looking for 9 to 6 jobs, you won't find them in times to come.
Yeah, it is amazing to see how these roles are transforming, how the industry is throwing up new opportunities. So the last question I have for you, Mr. Singhel, is the fact that fintech is really gaining huge amount of momentum and attention of the youth in particular. Those who are trying to be part of fintech industry or those who are trying to create their own ventures are equally excited about looking at the insurance sector. And I'm aware that your own company is working with several startups. So can you please provide some advice to the youth and to the academic institutions as to how they should think about incubating new ventures which would be of relevance to the insurance sector?
Earlier, if you wanted to be an industrialist or you wanted to be, the tycoon, you had to have a lot of money. You had to build up factories. You had to take a lot of loans to do so. In today's time, anyone can be big. I think we've already seen the Facebook, the WhatsApp stories, over time. The only thing is you have to solve a problem, and the good part for you is the traditional industries have so much of flab in which you can enter and solve a problem and finish the flab off, and that is where the money is. So if you want to do something, first pick up the industry you want to work for. Fintech, like Umar said, is again amazing because it's one of the traditional industries. Then study it very carefully to see where using technology are you going to solve a customer's problem, and where there's a lot of flab in terms of the expense ratio, in terms of the process, the way it is. So if you get a solution there, you want to make it big. I think that is where, when you look at education institutions also, the case study should be like this. They should pick up industries, look at the flabs, look at what solutions can come, how do you solve it, how do you make the customer's life much smoother, frictionless, on the moment, at the same time, immediate gratification. Those are things which have to be solved. Lot to do, a lot of excitement, a lot of fun. But be focused, spend enough time solving it. What looks as very easy at times is not that easy, otherwise somebody would have solved it by now. You have to go to the next level. But work on it. I think it will be very exciting.
It is fascinating to hear Mr. Singhel talk about the opportunities which are galore. So we got to pick the opportunities which excite us most, dig deeper, and then build our careers around those. So thank you very much for your time, Mr. Singhel, for sharing your perspectives on the insurance sector and the opportunities that are ahead for the youth of the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. My honor, as I said earlier. Thank you very much.